This is a merged club, which is always a very difficult thing to do in suburban footy. They usually tend to be a takeover rather than a merger, and that was certainly the case here. We took over. Most of the people around here who have been around for any deal of time are from Hyatt West, but we've gradually been able to draw some more Hyatt people out of the woodwork, and they're starting to get around the place now.
I've been playing football for close to 30 years, about 28, 29 years. I suppose I always aspired to play at the highest level I could, whether that be playing league football or just kicking around suburban football or in the country, whatever, just to try and get the most out of myself as a footballer at whatever level. My football instinct would be virtually every contest 100% flat out, try and put a bit of doubt into the opposition players' minds. Just run aggressively at the footy and just pretty much see what happens.
Probably playing near the best footy we've played all bloody year.
The difference between coaching and just being a player would be the fact that, well, you're obviously thinking about what you're doing to start with. It's definitely been good in a fact that it keeps you switched on to do the discipline sort of stuff.
Attitude determines altitude. We're going to get out there with a positive attitude. We're going to play positive. Come on,
I don't cope with losing very well. It hurts to lose when you know you've put a lot of work in during the year. All you can do is really get back on the job and try and turn it around, but I certainly don't take losing very well at all.
I probably first watched football when I was very, very young, I suppose, on the telly, but also I've got a lot of older brothers and they played local football, so I sort of watched them as well and just instantly in love with it, I suppose. Born in Victoria, so you're sort of born and bred on football and cricket, so just instantly in love with it. What makes football important to me is the structure and the mateship and the bonding and the socialising, I suppose. And if you're socialising with a group of guys and you come out to, the side up the road and you go into battle the next week against them, well, if there's rivalry, it's fierce. It's, we're better than you and stick it up your ass, we're going to kick your ass, so to speak. My football history is long and sordid. There's another guy down who's just played his 500th, and I probably could have played that many had I not been suspended for probably over 100. So I'm used to be a bit of a lunatic and settled down in my twilight years. I'm one of the most hated men in suburban football, so not so bad over the last year or so, but prior to that I've done some pretty nasty things to people. So when I hang them up, I don't think I'll come here for a year or something, just to try and let it fizz out a little bit, the spark, because I'm so passionate about footy that, I just want to be out there.
Primarily, objective of the football, or the president of the football club, is that we run a good, honest football club where we welcome people to come in and enjoy themselves, make sure that when they leave they want to come back to the football club. What would I do with life without being at the Volta Football Club? To answer it, I'm scared, I don't know.
The reason why I support the Doggies is because they're a good family-orientated club, very friendly club, a lot of good people in the club. They're very supportive of their players, they're very supportive of their supporters. It's frustrating being an ex-player who wants to get out there and still play, but you can't, and you know that, and you physically can't. It tears me up inside, but I deal with it, and that's why I love coming to the local football and watching with my friends, especially when I've got a couple of mates who are coaches and players, so it just makes it a lot more interesting. My expectations of rival supporters, they can give as good as they give, but they've got to cop it sweet on the chin as well if they're losing and they're getting thrashed in the verbal abuse side of it. And it's not verbal abuse, it's just jousting between two sides, but it does get carried away at times. If you lost your head, you could go overboard. But we're seen to have a beer after the game and everything's cleared up afterwards. There's no malice in the beer afterwards or anything. It's just during the game that tensions are high because everybody's so passionate about their side. I've got mates that have been here for years. We've been here since 1990, so it's really virtually our local club. It's like barracking for the AFL, but it's not. It's local football.
We see the future as Height being one of stability and one of success.
I would never play anywhere else. You know, if I left the state, I'd play something. But if I was in Victoria, I'd play at Height. You know, it's just no, it's said and done. Height, that's it. There's no correspondence will be entered into on that.
You build up to a Saturday, and there is that gladiatorial aspect of running out there on the Saturday with all your mates to do battle against an opposition. I think it's a fairly fitting description of what we do, really.